Dust swirls around the weary feet of Joseph as he leads the donkey forward. Mary clings to the saddle, her face pale with exhaustion from the long, arduous journey. The sun beats down on the dry, cracked roads of Judea. They pass a milestone marker, the name Bethlehem etched into the weathered stone. The town comes into view, crowded with travelers arriving for the census. Joseph approaches the heavy wooden door of a bustling inn. The innkeeper shakes his head, gesturing to the overflowing courtyard behind him. Joseph turns back to Mary, his expression heavy with worry and defeat. They move through the narrow, winding streets as twilight begins to fall. Every door they knock upon remains firmly shut against them. The air grows cooler, bringing a sharp chill to the desert night. They find a small, secluded stable tucked away behind a stone wall. Joseph pushes the creaking door open, revealing a dark, quiet interior. The scent of dry hay and resting livestock fills the small space. Mary steps inside, grateful for the shelter from the biting night wind. Joseph spreads a rough blanket over a pile of clean straw. The animals shift restlessly in the shadows, their eyes reflecting the dim moonlight. Mary sits down, leaning against the rough-hewn wooden wall. Joseph brings a bucket of water, his hands trembling slightly with fatigue. The world outside the stable walls feels distant and uncaring. A profound silence settles over the small, humble structure. The labor begins, marked by Mary's soft, rhythmic breathing in the dark. Joseph remains by her side, offering silent prayers for strength and comfort. Shadows dance on the walls as the night deepens around them. A sudden, sharp cry pierces the stillness of the stable. The newborn infant gasps, his first breath filling the quiet air. Mary cradles the child, her face illuminated by a soft, inner joy. She wraps the baby in simple, clean swaddling clothes. Joseph gently clears a space in the wooden manger filled with hay. They lay the child down, his small form resting in the rough cradle. The baby's tiny hand reaches out, gripping Joseph's calloused finger. A sense of peace descends, transforming the stable into a sanctuary. Outside, the town of Bethlehem sleeps, entirely unaware of the miracle within. The stars above seem to pulse with a strange, expectant energy. Suddenly, a single point of light ignites in the vast, dark firmament. The star grows brighter, casting a brilliant silver glow across the landscape. It hangs directly above the stable, a beacon of celestial fire. The light spills through the cracks in the stable roof. Dust motes dance in the shaft of divine illumination. Mary looks up, her eyes reflecting the radiant glow from above. Joseph stands in awe, shielding his eyes from the intense, holy brightness. The animals grow still, sensing the shift in the atmosphere. The light touches the manger, warming the hay around the child. It is a light that defies the darkness of the surrounding hills. Far off, shepherds on the hillside look up in sudden, startled wonder. The star's brilliance intensifies, turning the night into a soft, golden twilight. This is the signal, the long-awaited promise finally made manifest in flesh. The light pierces the shadows, casting long, dramatic silhouettes against the stable walls. The child sleeps, oblivious to the cosmic event occurring above his head. The star remains fixed, a silent sentinel over the humble birthplace. It represents a new beginning, a beacon for all who seek truth. The glow radiates outward, touching the edges of the sleeping town. Joseph leans over the manger, his heart overflowing with quiet reverence. Mary whispers a lullaby, her voice barely audible above the rustling hay. The world is forever changed, though the streets remain silent and dark. The star continues to burn, a promise of hope for the entire world. Every flicker of light seems to carry the weight of ancient prophecy. The stable becomes the center of the universe, anchored by the child. The celestial glow softens, bathing the scene in a gentle, holy aura. The night holds its breath, waiting for the dawn of a new age. The brilliant star hangs motionless in the dark velvet sky above the Judean hills. 3 figures on camels emerge from the shifting shadows of the vast eastern desert. The lead traveler, an elderly man with a silver beard, consults an ancient parchment scroll. He points toward the radiant star, his eyes filled with a mixture of awe and determination. The caravan moves slowly across the dunes, their silhouettes stark against the glowing horizon. They navigate treacherous, rocky paths as the night wind howls through the narrow mountain passes. Each man carries a precious, ornate chest bound in leather and gold. The camels plod forward, their heavy breathing the only sound in the silent, cold night. The star pulses with a rhythmic, golden light, acting as a beacon for the weary travelers. They crest a final hill, looking down upon the sleeping, clustered houses of Bethlehem. The star descends, hovering directly over a small, dilapidated structure on the town's edge. The wise men dismount, their robes dusty from the long, arduous journey across the lands. They approach the wooden door of the stable, their movements slow and full of reverence. The eldest king pushes the heavy door open, revealing a soft, golden glow within. Inside, the air is warm and smells of dry hay and gentle, resting livestock. Mary sits on a pile of straw, cradling the infant close to her chest. Joseph stands nearby, his hand resting protectively on a wooden beam, watching the visitors. The wise men pause at the threshold, struck by the profound simplicity of the scene. The child stirs, his small hand reaching out toward the flickering lantern light. The kings kneel in the straw, their fine silks contrasting with the rough, humble floor. The first king opens his chest, revealing a shimmering pile of pure, polished gold. He places the offering at the foot of the manger, bowing his head in silence. The second king presents a vessel of frankincense, its sweet smoke curling into the air. The fragrance fills the small space, creating an atmosphere of sacred, quiet contemplation. The third king offers a jar of myrrh, his expression one of deep, solemn understanding. Mary smiles gently, acknowledging the gifts with a nod of her weary, graceful head. Joseph steps forward, his eyes meeting the wise men with a silent, profound gratitude. The infant looks up at the visitors, his eyes reflecting the light of the star. A sense of peace settles over the stable, bridging the gap between heaven and earth. The wise men remain on their knees, witnessing the birth of a new, eternal hope. Outside, the world remains unaware of the miracle occurring within these humble, wooden walls. The star continues to shine, casting a celestial glow that illuminates the entire valley. The kings rise slowly, their faces transformed by the encounter with the divine child. They exchange a final, knowing look before turning toward the stable's open entrance. The night air feels different now, charged with the promise of a coming change. They exit the stable, their footsteps quiet on the dry, packed earth of the path. The camels wait patiently, their heads turned toward the travelers as they approach. The wise men mount their beasts, casting one last glance back at the glowing structure. They begin their journey home, their hearts lightened by the weight of their sacred mission. The star begins to fade, its purpose fulfilled as the morning light touches the horizon. The legacy of this night begins to ripple outward, destined to echo through the ages. Mary holds her son, the manger now a cradle for the light of the world. Joseph watches the sunrise, knowing their lives will never be the same again. The desert landscape wakes, bathed in the soft, golden hues of a new day. The story of the star becomes a legend whispered by travelers for generations to come. The quiet stability of the manger gives way to a movement that will change history. The world feels forever altered by the arrival of the child in the stable. The final shadows of the night vanish, replaced by the dawn of a new era. Mary adjusts the swaddling clothes, her touch tender and full of maternal love. Joseph leans down, whispering words of comfort and strength to his small family. The livestock shift in the straw, sensing the momentous nature of the quiet morning. A gentle breeze stirs the dry grass outside, carrying the scent of blooming wildflowers. The distant sounds of the waking town begin to drift toward the lonely stable. Mary looks toward the door, her eyes bright with the promise of the future. Joseph stands tall, ready to protect the child against the coming challenges of life. The golden light of dawn spills through the cracks in the wooden walls. Dust motes dance in the shafts of light, swirling around the Holy Family. The infant drifts into a peaceful sleep, unaware of the world waiting outside. The silence of the stable is a testament to the miracle that occurred tonight. A new day begins, marking the start of a journey that will change the world.